Chapter 9. Gavin. The Quiet Cell. They said it would knock 5 years off my sentence. All I had to do was sign a consent form. No lawyers, no appeals. Just initials in 3 places and a thumbprint. A neuro-rehabilitation trial, they called it. Experimental, sure, but state-sanctioned. Monitored. Harmless. I'd done worse for a pack of smokes and a promise I knew was a lie. So I signed. With a half-smile and a middle finger under the table, I didn't believe in redemption. Not the kind that came in sterile white coats and psych evals. But I did believe in leverage. And something about the way the guards avoided eye contact, the way the techs stuttered through their explanations, told me there was leverage here. Something big. Bigger than behavioral conditioning or prescription drugs. I'd been through those before. Chemical obedience. Behavioral counseling. Nothing stuck. Too stubborn. Too empty, they said. Psychopath. No remorse. No insight. But this time, something was different. The MRI machine hummed and clicked like a wasp nest. Cold and mechanical, the kind of sound you feel in your molars. I lay still, arms crossed over my chest like a corpse, staring up at the stickers on the inside of the bore. A faded smiley face, a galaxy swirl, the corner of something torn off. Think of something or someone you love, the technician said through the intercom. I thought of success, of the first night after my first heist, lighting up a joint while I took stock of my newfound wealth. Afterward, they didn't let me return to Gen Pop. Protocol, they said. A brief isolation period for monitoring. I didn't buy it. There was tension in the air, not fear. Exactly. More like anticipation. Like the guards were waiting for me to turn into something else. They moved me to a lower level. A windowless corridor I hadn't known existed. The concrete walls were too clean. No graffiti. No scuff marks. Like no one had ever left this place alive enough to leave a mark. I paced the room for what felt like hours. No cot. No toilet. No clock. Just a chair, a camera, and a polished metal table bolted to the floor. I sat. Waited. I played games in my head. Counted the breaths of the silence. Finally, the door opened. Not a guard. Not a doctor. A woman in a white lab coat and soft shoes. Her blonde hair was pulled back into a severe bun. No ID badge. No clipboard. Just eyes that didn't blink enough and a mouth that smiled without teeth. We weren't expecting this, she said, almost admiring. You're clean. I raised an eyebrow. You say that like it's bad news. She didn't laugh. It complicates things. You volunteered for integration, but there's nothing to integrate you into. I leaned back. Then I guess I'm done here. She tilted her head. Not quite. You shouldn't exist. You're a liability. That made me smile. A real smile. The kind that comes from deep down where nothing good lives. Aren't I always? She stepped back. The door opened again. 2 men entered, no uniforms. No expressions. They moved like synchronized gears. I didn't go quietly. Not that I expected to win, but I wanted them to remember it. The elbow I drove into one's throat. The kick that shattered a nose. The scream as I twisted a wrist just far enough to splinter. But numbers win. They always do. When I woke, I was strapped to a table. Ankles. Wrists. Neck. Mouth gagged. Eyes free. I scanned the room. Stainless steel. Fluorescence buzzing like static. A monitor blinking green lines. A second table beside me empty but stained. The woman returned. She carried a small vial. Iridescent and vibrating slightly like it was alive. Like it knew. You should be honored, she said. We've never done a forced sync before. But we can't have gaps in the Soulstream. I strained against the straps. Muscles flexing, tendons screaming. I growled through the gag. Eyes locked on hers. You'll resist, she said. I would expect nothing less. But you'll sleep. And when you wake, you won't be alone anymore. The needle slid into my arm with surgical indifference. At first, nothing. Then heat. Crawling. behind my eyes, vibrating my teeth. Thoughts that weren't mine, memories not lived. A woman crying beside a hospital bed. A child's laugh echoing down a hallway I'd never walked. A prayer in a language I didn't speak. I screamed, and something screamed back. The lights flickered. The monitors glitched. For a split second, all the data flatlined. Then the heartbeat returned. Not just mine. Not fully. The woman leaned over me, eyes wide, curious, almost reverent. "It's taking," she whispered, "but not cleanly." My mouth was still gagged, but my mind roared. "I am not yours." Something inside me laughed. "Not yet. And you're gonna tell me if there's more like you.